I
Hello and good morning. It's time for rankings.
at 11 a.m.
11
Which
a.m.
we
after we stayed
it's
up
really
for a
funny
majority
because
of the night doing cliffhangers.
we're acting like it's like 7:30 in the morning. It's like 11
Well, when I stayed up till 5 and you woke up at 4 and 6, I'm like,
and 8.
it counts and 8. So yeah,
Um,
that comp is still going on. We're down to 2. There's 2 very stubborn people that will not make a deal to keep each other safe
I'm so excited to see how this
and
finishes.
don't want the
Okay.
other to be HOH. So before they were joking of like, oh my gosh, guys, normally the battle back is what makes these competitions so long. What if we just broke the record and it was just an HOH competition? But now I think actually could happen because they don't want the other one to win HOH. So anyway, this week, again, in terms of what happened this week, not very interesting. But this is the first time in the game where all of a sudden there is, I mean, now someone has battled back, but like in the time between it being decided that Cade was going to go home and I get we can say this, everyone knows, and Haley coming back, a lot of things shifted. And now I have absolutely no idea who's in danger and who's not this week. And it's really interesting.
Okay, so let's get started. Alex last week, sorry, I should have been looking at them very well. I'm gonna do that. Alex last week had a 3 from both of us.
Um,
Mr.
yeah.
Alex, where's my tab? There it is.
Um, so Alex has done, in my opinion, a lot of good work this week. He's gotten in better with a lot of people, being Dan. He's gotten a lot better with Kristen. I think even Anthony like trusts him a little more now. He's gotten in good with Matthew. He still has Riley. The main person he had to worry about, truthfully, was Cade.
Mm-hmm.
And he still has to worry about Maris, I think, but not in a crazy way. Um, so if Maris wins the HOH, like he could be in a bit of trouble. But that's not what we're basing our rankings off of because we don't know anything about the HOH competition with this. So
And I
I
would
do,
not have thought Maris was gonna win this, so
I do still think that Alex is not safe. He's not in whatever's remaining of a power structure. However, now the crack is wide open to whip something up and get in there. Now is the time. He knows that he needs to, but like we need to see it happen if he wants, I think, a shot of like winning. So for that reason, I'm raising my score to a 4.
I'm also gonna go up to a 4. I think Cade going home for Alex was probably the best outcome for this week.
For sure.
Um, Interestingly, also, we have a few people suspecting that Alex was the sniper this week.
He
Um,
stayed up.
Incorrectly.
He stayed up till what 7 a.m.
Well, we'll talk
7:30.
about that when we get to the other person. Um, but I even if people think that Alex was the sniper, I think that Cade going home was a common enough enemy that people aren't like, sniper, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So
I
like,
think people are just looking for a reason to target him. I don't
yeah.
think they care whether or not he was a sniper. I think all they want to say is, "You were the sniper. Get him out."
Yeah. Okay, so Alex finishes with a 4 for week 7. Going up. Okay. Anthony.
Anthony. Um, Anthony, I now think is one to watch out for. Truly.
Okay,
Um,
wait, so I had the 7.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really thought that he was gonna start to be on some shaky ground, and all of a sudden, the house shaking up think is actually really benefiting him. The only person that's targeting him is Matthew. And I think even Matthew is in the mindset of like, well, I can't do it myself. And I'm like, well, why? First of all. But second of all, he's not going to be able to convince anyone else to put up Anthony and Beck right now. Not when you have Haley in the game, not when you have Maris in the game, not when you have Alex in the game, depending on which side wins. So, and even if it is Anthony versus Vic, I think Vic goes home. Um, so kind of crazy. Still not perfect, but I have no problem staying at my 8 this week.
And this week I'm gonna go up to an 8, especially because I truly think, and I'm trying to separate my biases here from. I can't remember if this happened before or after the eviction. Whether this started before or after the eviction. But I really think we're starting to see little kind of separations and breaks between the three of those people, and I think that going into maybe not this week, but maybe next week, I think they're not going to be together that much longer, to be really honest. And I think
I don't think
Anthony,
there's I don't think there's ever going to be a defining factor where one of them wins HOH and puts up the other. But
no. Well,
I don't
I'm
think we're any longer at a point where, say, let's say Maris does win this HOH, and Maris says, I want to put up Cassidy. I think Anthony would say, okay,
like I'm reading what is happening right now, and Dan's like, Anthony, tell Cassidy to throw this HOH. And he's
oh,
like,
man.
well, to him, he's like, yeah. In his DR, he's like, I'm not gonna do that. Maris winning is good for me, and he can go after people who I'm allied with that I can't go after. So I
Anthony is
think I truly think that I think Anthony's gonna be the one on out to come out on top when that happens.
Anthony's the one that's currently connected with everyone that people think that he's not because he's truly an amazing gaslighter. And that's really like, and like that sounds like, oh my God, Anthony's a great gaslighter. And I'm like, not have a personal stuff about game, but like, yeah, he's doing it very well. He's doing it very well. Because anytime Matthew truly is the only one to be like, why is no one taking out Anthony? Everyone's like, because Anthony's with me and no one else. And he's like, are you that stupid? And the fact that someone's wise to it means I can't go that high, but it's only one person, and that person I don't think can take a shot right now. So it's an 8.
Coolio. Cade, rip.
Unfortunately, I mean, Cade did an amazing job getting this far.
Cade tried. Cade
You can't
tried.
deny that. He really tried. Unfortunately, there was never a big alliance. There was never a big alliance. However, what happened was it was a chain reaction of events where Wick went home because of Cade's actions, which put a target on season 9. When Haley went up and Murph and Armani fought really hard to keep Haley. It was great. You're clearly not with us. You two are the next two to go. And then Nora fought really, really hard to save Murph. And Cade fought really, really hard to save Armani. And they were then put on the outs. And that's what happened. And Caitlyn got thrown in there, but it's besides the point. Um, yeah. So there's nothing that he did this week that was exceptionally worse. I mean, I can't raise my score. His position got no better, so I'm gonna just stay by 2.
I'm gonna go down to it too for his eviction week. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say for Cade. Um, rip, rest in peace. Also, if he stayed up a half an hour more, he would have come back into the game. But
I know.
that was so upsetting.
Um, yeah. So Cade had a good run for what his run was.
Cass D.
Cassidy, Cassidy, Cassidy. A lot changed for Cassidy's game this week, I think. She's the one that I think her position has shifted the most. Because she went from, I think, in the Dan position without having the Dan title to now being a loose number that people will string along if they can, and if they can't, if they want to take a shot at Dan's side, she's such a clear target. I don't think people care if she goes anymore. I really don't. Um, I don't think Alex has any strong connection to Cassidy. Anthony definitely fine if she goes. David is fine if she goes. Maris is fine with it. Victoria would be fine with it. The only people that I see wanting to actively protect Cassidy would be Dan, Kristen, and Matthew. It's not fantastic. She's definitely not the biggest target, but I'll be interested to see where things go. So I am lowering my score, and because of I feel like how unconnected she is,
One
and
second.
what?
Okay, we're back on.
Yes, I figured exactly what I was saying before, but generally I'm lowering my score because she's just not as useful or connected anymore. So I'm going all the way down to a 6.
Um, yeah, I think these were the feelings that I was kind of feeling a few weeks ago, when uh Nora was considering putting her on the block. I was like, maybe she isn't as good as I thinking her making her out to be. And I think I agree with you. I think a lot changed this week in terms of that. Um,
And to be clear, I do think I don't think we were not giving her deserved high scores. I think she was that good. I
mhm,
think the game is changing, and
for sure.
whereas everyone has their flaws in their game, I think Cassidy's flaw is not being adaptable. And once she locks in with a group,
Mhm.
she's going to ride with them. And that's great for being a loyal player, but that might not always work for you. So,
But honestly, like from my perspective from last week, I don't feel like I have enough info right now to lower my score that much, especially going into next week. I don't think she's like, I mean, even if I didn't know who was going to win HOH, I don't think that I would have been that worried for her. So I'm only going to go down to a 7. But I agree with you that I could see this being lowered some more depending on what happens. Oh, Cassidy's like it's like jump rope. Sure. I don't know. I don't know how. Never mind. Anyway,
what? It's like jump rope?
but it's like jumping, and she jump ropes, so fitting, I guess.
Okay.
Dan.
Um, yeah, Dan's another interesting case. Don't get me wrong, Dan is still in a fantastic position. He's still in a great spot. He's still playing an amazing game. I don't think he's people like if people target his side, it's not gonna be Dan that goes home, I don't think. But for me, he's no longer at 9 material where people are no longer not even talking about it. Because now people are talking about it and they are going, is Dan actually with me? Like a conversation to start it, and it only takes one pebble to start this thing to start spiraling. So I'll be really interested to see. I still feel good about him, but I mean, I'll keep this short and sweet. Nothing really happened because Cade going home was also good for him.
Hmm.
But he also let Riley go up on the block.
Yeah, that
Bad.
was bad.
Um,
And
so
then even made Alex go, Dan, you're gonna let Kristen put Riley on the block. What is that? If you're letting Riley go on the block, what is our relationship then? What are you gonna do to me?
yeah, not fantastic, but his positioning's still good enough. I'm gonna go down to an 8.
I'm gonna be honest. I was considering going down to a 7, but I don't think I'm going to. I think that depending how this next week shapes out and what people continue to say about him, if I'm being really honest, I would not be surprised if he did not make it past the third juror. I think that this is gonna turn on him quickly. But I don't see any like active plans against him right now. It's just more like, oh Dan. So I'm only gonna go to an 8. I think a
Um,
7 is too low. And he's definitely doing better than Cassidy, and he's not doing that much worse than Anthony. So
here's another interesting point we haven't talked about yet. but it reminded me of it when you were like, I wouldn't be surprised if Dan didn't make it past this point. There's a lovely little twist called the Beach Patrol coming, and that twist is, I think, the that and the bunker. This even more so than the bunker are the biggest pest in screwing up someone's plans at the snap of a finger, and all of a sudden a group of people is safe, and you need to find new targets, and it could screw some people over, I think.
Mm. Okay, David.
I won't lie, I'm just confused at this point. I don't even know what to do with David. Because I'm like, he's being targeted, but he makes it by. But he's talking to people, but he's not with any alliances. But he is, but Cade just went home. And I'm like, what? And like everyone, people have not stopped talking about targeting him. So why hasn't it been done? I'm just, I'm
I
so
think it'll get done this week, to be honest. That's
not if Marison's HOH.
well, yeah, but I think I was gonna say I think Dan will win, but I don't know, honestly.
No, I really don't know. Um, are they both still in?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't check. I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, they're both in at the 11:30. We've now tied the season one record.
Yeah. No,
19
they
and a half.
passed it.
No, 19 and a half. This is 19 and a half.
Yeah, and then they've gone farther than 19 and a half.
Oh, yeah. The fact that they've passed it already makes it feel like cheating, though, because he started so early.
I feel like that makes it harder, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. Um, uh, yeah, I'm looking at Anthony's DR. This isn't affecting rankings, but like Anthony wants Alex out, and he wants Maris to do it. Um,
Dan wants to
Anthony's fine in the
drop,
game.
and I don't think Maris is gonna drop. I think Maris is gonna win.
Okay. Anyway, back to David. Um, yeah, I mean, I just think David be in some trouble. Let's look at the board of who he's aligned with. Anthony and Vic. Great. End of list. Um, yeah, no, I have to go down to a three for that being his list of allies. Actually, no, Maris as well. Oh,
I'm gonna
that's
stay
a
at
new thing that happened. David and Maris made like a final two.
I'm gonna stay at a 4.
Yeah, actually, I'm doing the same.
See, it's like I want Maris to win, but I don't want Alex or Matthew to go or Riley. It's
It's
like,
not gonna, I don't think it's gonna be Matthew. I think it's gonna be Alex, Riley, or Kristen.
Kristen, okay. Let me just say this. Kristen being first juror and third place twice, kind of aesthetic.
The veto this week is backwards week. Anyway,
Oh, true. Okay, 4 for David.
what are Jan and Maris looking? Okay, Chris. Speaking of Kristen, um,
Kristen, aka the BB sniper.
yeah, BB Sniper. I won't lie. I mean, no offense to Kristen, I do feel like I gave her an accurate game reads in the past, and not that they've been bad, but they've never been spectacular. But I am continuously impressed by her and that she is connecting
Mhm.
people. Um, I do agree that Cade was the right shot to take for Kristen over David. I do not agree that we put Riley McGee on the block. That was, I think, quite silly of you.
Especially when like like you could have just done Maris. Like I don't understand like what the reasoning was. Like why would you put like you knew Riley was a vote for you to do what you wanted now.
Yeah.
And you did like why didn't you just put Maris on the block? And
I
if Maris'
didn't
vote
know.
wasn't blocked, she would have saved Cade. So,
People also heavily underestimated how easily that vote could have flipped.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Very like yeah, really
I
easily.
mean, you had David, Anthony, Vic, and Maris all willing to keep Cade. That would have made it a 4-4. You
Mm-hmm.
need it one. Um, yeah. So like I don't think she realized. I also think that Alex has got his eyes on Kristen. Slightly wrongfully, but I think he does. Anthony definitely does. Um, I don't know where David stands with Kristen. Maris has no loyalty to Kristen. Um, and I don't know where Vic stands. So like her positioning with the game shifting, she's another one. I don't see her adapting, and I see her locking in with Dan more, which I think is the wrong move. I think you need to lock in with like you need just to find other people and team up and not have Dan be your anchor. Um, so I don't feel poorly about Kristen, but I'm gonna lower my score to a 5.
Interesting. Um, shucks. Cause oh my, I can't believe I said shucks. Um, cause okay, well I do like I think getting Kate out was it was kind of for a week with an anonymous HOH. First of all, I feel like she could have played this so much better. Like having a full week where no one knows that you're HOH. I mean,
Literally, if I won this, it would have been sit down, shut up, and not say a word to anyone.
as a viewer, I would have loved to see whoever the sniper was not tell a single person and just take someone out, like just get rid of someone.
What she needed to do with this anonymous HOH was take out Anthony, unfortunately. Like that's what needed to happen for an anonymous HOH. However, Cade going was very, very good. The question is, was it the most advantageous use of an anonymous HOH?
Could you imagine if Kristen won this competition again, um, and sent Anthony out on a twist week again?
Wow, that would have been great.
Okay, I am gonna go down to a 5 because I agree the vote could have flipped very like it was going to flip at one point. Like people were heavily considering it. Um and that would have been terrible. Like I just don't understand why she put Riley on the block. Like I want to know the thought process. I'm actually gonna like ask her after the season, what the hell were you thinking? Because Maris is so, like, and even if you put Maris up, not that she knew this, but Maris thinks that the sniper was Alex, so that would have put a bigger target on Alex. So whatever. 5. Yeah, 5. I agree. Okay. Maris.
Let me start with Maris. Again, I'm confused because she's in a position where people think they can use her. She's in a position where she's sandwiched last week. She was sandwiched between Matthew and Cade, and Anthony and Vic, and David and Dan. And that's fantastic. And for that, Maris should have like an 8 from me. That positioning is 8 level worth. Like I'm being serious. She's playing it so ridiculously poorly. It's actually ridiculous. Maris, I get that it was fun in season 6 to run back to one group and trash on the other group and take them out. However, there were two things in season 6 that are not true of this season. One, those are the only people left in the game. You made the turn when it was one group versus the other. That's not the case this season, and now you're turning on allies that want to keep you versus some like you know what I mean? Like it's not there are still other factors at play. That's one difference. And two, the other difference is you do not have Sean Bierman on your team who's gonna win 16 competitions and keep you safe. Um, so that being said, Maris's short-term game is still, I think, pretty set. Could she be used as a pawn? Absolutely. I don't think anyone's targeting Maris because they don't view her as a threat. And you know what? Because of the game that she's playing, rightfully so, because she literally gets placed up towards the top of the hill. And you know what she does? She said, "Let me roll down it so I can let someone else take the position." She is single-handedly handing Anthony the game right now, in my opinion. I think Anthony, and like I'm saying that as a again, like I say these things if the game stands exactly where it is, because that's the game that we have now. It's not going to stay exactly as it is. That's how the game works. It's going to change. That's not me saying Anthony's going to win the season, but that's me saying in this current game of what is happening, she's taking all of her crucial information. She is just giving it to Anthony. Do you know what happened when the sniper was announced? She went to Anthony and said, "This is such a good twist. Now we can anonymously target Matthew and Cade." And I'm like, Maris, those are two people that are actively protecting you. Why do you want to do that? Other than it's funny because I'm playing you. It's not smart though. So I'm not lowering my score because her positioning is good. I'm not raising my score because her gameplay is jack shit. Sorry.
Um,
5 from me.
I don't think this is gonna happen this week. I would love for Maris to win and for Cassidy to somehow go home with all like the Beach Patrol or whatever. So, somehow she goes home on Maris's HOH, just like the entire season of her being like, "Oh, Mastermind Maris," and then she goes home would be hilarious. And Karma,
I need Maris to win HOH, and then I need Alex, Kristen, and Riley to be a Beach Patrol team.
isn't it? It's duos though.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I need Alex and Riley to be a Beach Patrol team.
Um, and even Anthony and his GR is like, can they stop being like, oh, we'll just tell Maris what to do? Like it was funny and all at first, but like she's a like she has plans of her own and what she wants to do, and we're not just like we need to stop thinking we can just convince her to do whatever we want, which like Anthony can probably, but like
Anthony, I was gonna say, like, listen, Anthony, you can do that though. But and this is the thing with
but Dan and
Maris.
Cassidy like
They have no shot of
oh
convincing Maris what to do. Exactly. Maris is someone that when she locks in with someone, she locks in with them. And again, loyal players make it far. I don't know if it's gonna win this season. And I
I
agree, people can't tell Maris what to do, but I agree that she will. Anthony can.
I really hope that she takes this HOH and makes me go want to go up next week, but I'm gonna stay at my 5 as well.
She's not gonna take the right shot, I don't think.
We shall see. Okay. Matthew.
Matthew? Um, Matthew is another one that in this shakeup, I feel like is actually benefiting a bit. Um,
Sure.
where I look at who he is close now, and I think, truthfully, I think Kristen is now super tight with Matthew. I think Alex is. I think Riley is. I think Dan and Castle really value him. Um, and I do think Maris, I hope, is smart enough to go, yeah, I want to get one up on Matthew, but there are people that I'm not close with in the game, and it should take shots at them first. I hope she's smart enough for that. For that reason, I think Matthew is still in a very good spot. However, I think Matthew has lost some agency, whereas before I saw him being able to have like a voice in things and convince people what to do. I do think people view him more as a number now. I'll be
Oh wait,
interested
and
to
did
see
you
how
say
that.
did you say Matthew when you were talking about David's allies?
Are Javen and Matthew close?
Oh, sorry. Wait, that's David and Maris. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong.
Yeah, David and
I
Maris.
thought this was David and Sorry, I have Matthew and Maris as both orange in my contacts, and it's MM and MW. So it's I get them confused all the time. Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Um, so Matthew, I still think is in a very good position. However, I think he's lost some agency in that I don't think he's able to have as much sway anymore. Which, granted, all he needs to do is sit there and agree with people, and he'll still make it far. But I do worry if Master Maris wins his HOH. I do worry if Anthony, a preacher of we can't convince Maris what to do, might want to convince Maris to take out Matthew.
Yeah, I agree with
Based off
that.
of his DR, that's not what's going to happen. But if Anthony says do it, I think Maris could.
I mean, he didn't even. He said she can go after people I'm working with, like Kristen and Alex and Riley. Like, didn't even mention Matthew or Cass at all.
Yeah. So I'll be interested to see. Um, I'm just gonna stay at my 7. I feel like he's still in a good position.
I really wanted to go up to an 8, but well, because every time I look at him, I'm like, he's doing so well every time, every week that we've looked at him. I haven't had like pretty much anything bad to say about him. It's just people like Anthony is now hardcore gunning for him, and so is Victoria, but Victoria,
He
whatever.
really needs that shot taken at them. And I worry that the window for that is closing quick, quicker and quicker. But Matthew, this nearly this entire season has stayed at like the number 2, number 3 most powerful position. And I think you're right that that's where you want to be.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say my 7 as well. Riley,
Unfortunately, I think Matthew. Oh no, Matthew went down last week, right?
yeah.
Currently, Riley's the only one to not have her score go down.
Mm,
Unfortunately, that's about to change.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Um, it makes me sad, but Riley is no longer, I think, in that mix of the time for Riley to make a move and scoop people up and do things. Same thing with Alex. That window is all but closed, I think, pretty much.
Yeah.
So like they need power. They need to do something. That window's closing. I don't think she's the primary target out of the next set of targets, but like if we're now entering the phase 2 of targets, Riley, especially with a beach patrol in play, is just expendable to a lot of people. So she could absolutely still make it very far. But at that point, that's more so dependent on the right people winning HOHs and beach patrols, and not so much her social strategy at this point. I'm gonna go down to a 5.
I'm going down as well. Oh, crap. I knew I was gonna go down, but I'm deciding between a 6 or a 5. And I'm weighing all of these things in my mind. Obviously, I'm not taking into consideration Maris probably becoming HOH because I do think that Maris is gunning for her. Like,
Yeah, I think Alex and Riley are the most likely noms if Marathon's HOH.
yeah. Um, so that worries me. She was on the block last week and could have gone home and wasn't in the know. Like this week wasn't great for her. But I'm trying to consider where my thought process was between the eviction and now, like between the eviction and like yesterday afternoon. But I think I'm also gonna go down to a 5, which is really upsetting. But if she makes it through this week with Alex in the future, in a few weeks, I could see myself going back up. Okay. Victoria.
Queen of nothing.
Queen of being on the block and winning the veto. Literally,
Oh, that's true. That's
I think
valid.
almost
That's
every
valid.
time that that's like I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check season two. Should I pull up
I
the
take
wiki?
back my queen of nothing. Victoria, I won't lie. I don't know if she has notes. This competition was OTEP, and it was, I think, the hardest
Oh my,
version
it
of
was
OTEP she's seen.
crazy.
And
Oh, I didn't
she,
mean to do that. Oh my god. Oh my god, what did I just do? I just opened music. What the hell was that? Okay, sorry. 2020. Let's see. One here, one here. These two. Oh, she didn't win here. Oh yeah, and then she was on the block a lot. But then hold on. Anthony won and took her off. Anthony won and took her off. Julia won
Julia
and
won
took
and
her
took
off.
her off.
So every time she's an initial nominee in season two,
Yeah, Victoria was never
it's
final nominee until week 15.
crazy. Yeah. Oh no, she was backdoored. Like she was put on the block on in the double. Anyway. She is like the first two videos of season two, I remember her like in the first week she was going home, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
And the second week she wasn't really, but
Um, so yeah, she actually did very pleasantly surprise me. It was a hard competition. She was going up against people that really wanted to win. It was a season trivia comp. Like the odds were, in my opinion, very stacked against Victoria here.
mhm.
She did it. Kudos to you.
I wonder if she has notes or if she's just like paying
I think
attention.
Victoria, truthfully, I won't lie. I cannot imagine what notes Victoria has. I would bet it more on Victoria is a. I feel like people that don't know
Mhm.
Victoria
Yeah.
really would not guess this, especially based off of her not being able to like be here super much. Victoria is one of the smartest people I know. I mean, she's a fucking Penn student. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Like, let's get this straight. She
She's
is
really smart.
very, very smart. She works very, very hard. So I would not be surprised if it's like she's able to just like
Remember, yeah.
remember these things. Maybe some baseline notes, but I don't
I
think it
mean,
was like
also it was just competitions too. Like it
yeah,
wasn't anything
exactly. I
crazy.
don't think detailed notes is what won Victoria this competition.
Mm.
Victoria's very smart. Um, so kudos. You're still not playing a good game. Three. Um,
um,
actually,
say what you gonna say.
oh god, now I don't know. Okay, let's go through her allies. Alex,
Also, like Victoria winning OTEV, kind of, it's like, what does that mean for the rest of the competitions this season, which are memory based?
well, that's not what I really don't think that means anything personally. I won't lie. But I don't think OTEV's the defining factor in that. However, what I do think it means is whereas before I think Victoria had this image of like, oh, and now we're just like we just throw Victoria out, but it's fine. It's like, she can win. She can win when she
She
needs
could,
to.
no, mhm.
Not gonna be that easy. And not that
Mhm.
because it was targeting Victoria this week, she was not. But um, yeah, I think this is an moment for winning the veto and for maybe gaining some more allies in David and Maris and Anthony, and that's it. Um, I will be nice. A four.
Yeah, I'm also gonna. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna go to a four. I am also going to a four. Veto Queen. I would like. What if she just wins every veto from here until the end of the season?
Yeah, what if the sky falls tomorrow?
All right, that is not that unlikely. Come on, there's
Win
not that.
every veto from now till the end of the season.
It's only like seven vetoes.
There are far more than seven vetoes.
11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 8.
The double nine.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe wins every veto that she's picked for. But like
Yeah,
you were
that's
counting her. Okay. Like
she has
gets
to be,
picked and wins
obviously she would have to
every
be picked for the
veto.
burst. Obviously, that's the most out of the question part. Um, okay. Fun.
That's our rankings.
Okay.
I'm really interested. I no longer think it's a thing of Anthony and Dan control the narrative with Cat. Like that's not how it is anymore. Currently, they just have the most allies, but I don't know how much more they're able to control. They're able to control their people, but people have it out for Anthony. People know not to listen to Dan now. Things are starting to change, and I hope they continue to change because it is very possible. Like, let's say Dan wins HOH this week, it's possible that we're going to change, and lock back in. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
That is
sure.
possible. We're not out of the woods yet in terms of change being here, but it's definitely on the horizon if the right things happen.
Okay, awesome. So we got Anthony and Dan at the top with 8. Matthew not far behind with 7, then Cass 6.5, and we have obviously Cade in last with 2, and then Victoria and Alex and David with
And
4.
David. Yeah, yeah. I mean, anyone with a. The Beast Patrol can screw this all up. In my mind, the green scores are safe, but anyone with the yellow or red has the danger of going home this week. And the Beast Patrol could change that in a second. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, then that's that. See you next time.